I'm not excessively on my mobile device. I'm not someone who reads comments. I'm also very sure and confident about who I am and what is it that I want to say. When it comes to my professional life, he's given me a lot of freedom. That's one aspect of it. No questions asked. You know, I think what I've been able to bring to his life is he'd probably be jumping off the rooftops. He is, you know, Superman with a cape, but then that
cape is
when you pan the camera, the cape is I'm holding it just so that he doesn't.
Fatika Farooqui, you would have watched Gehraiyan. Everybody has till now. As I watched Gehraiyan, I started thinking. You know, the famous 13th century philosopher and poet Rumi had said, "You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the ocean in a drop." As I watched Gehraiyan, I saw a lot of ocean, the sea, the depth, the Gehraiyan, and beautiful characters that looked great but needed help inside. That is a talking point now. We all need help. And as I'm meeting Alisha, the character, the famous, the main character in the film, that is Deepika Padukone. I thought, what else can I ask her? What should I discuss with her that has not already been discussed? So I've taken out 10 quotes of Rumi and we throw them at her, and then we take off from there. Let's see how she interprets them.
Okay, that's going to be interesting.
It's going to be very interesting. You know why? Because your personality is not just work, Deepika. You've gone beyond it. With your organization, your initiative, Live, Love, Laugh Foundation, the World Economic Forum has given her a Crystal Award for just raising so much awareness about mental health. I went to your website also and learned a lot of things.
Thank you.
Firstly, thank you for doing this. In a world where everybody has to act strong, look good, everything has to be prim and proper, you chose to unravel yourself, unwrap yourself, and that is so brave. That is so brave. Thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you.
Firstly, Rumi says,
I personally believe that when you learn from your own journey, from your own experiences, from your own mistakes, there's no greater learning than that. And I'm just talking from my own experience, you know, whether it's in my personal life, whether it's in my professional life. Take my professional life, for example. You know, I came into the industry with no sort of padding, godfather. You know, I was literally thrown into the deep end. I mean, of course, am I grateful for the opportunity that I got? Yes, but that was also a function of my hard work. I had obviously done some kind of work that Farah Khan saw, and you know, she decided to cast me in Om Shanti Om. But I was absolutely raw, naive. I had never been on a film set before. So, and I always thought that that's just the way it's going to be. I'll always be well presented, taken care of. You know, people will make sure, my directors will make sure that, you know, I perform well. They'll make sure that I sound correct. And then I think when that experience ended, and I kind of remember them telling me, I remember Farah and Shah Rukh both telling me that we're always here for you. And I was like, what, like, they're just saying it out of formality. What do you mean you're always here for me? And for me at that point also, it was like, even if I had a situation in my life, I'm not going to call Farah Khan. I'm not going to call Shah Rukh Khan. Like, I can't be, you know, I'm confused about something. How can I call Shah Rukh Khan and ask him? And then I kind of felt like I was now on my own. And I now had to take my steps forward, just exactly like Rumi says, just
as you start to work.
Yeah, just discovering it as I went along. And today, when I've, you know, I've walked quite a lot of that journey. It's now easier for me to look back in hindsight and say, wow, you know, I could have gotten lost. I'm sure I got lost along the way. Of course I have, not sure, I have gotten lost along the way. But I think that's what enriched my life. It enriched my mind, it enriched my soul. I was able to understand who I am as a person. I was able to understand the people around me. I was able to understand different experiences and different situations. And all of those experiences and that journey of walking alone and discovering as you go along has brought me to where I am today.
Yeah, totally.
So, yeah.
Self-help is the best help. And you know, we were just talking about you were a complete novice when you came into the industry. You know, Irfan Khan had once told me, not on record, but we were just talking, and he said, you know, मैंने जब दीपिका को पहली बार एक कैलेंडर पे देखा था, मैंने उसकी आंखें देख के सोचा, यार ये लड़की तो फिल्मों में होनी चाहिए, इतनी expressive eyes फिल्मों में चाहिए. So I'm just going to come to that quote, but you know, I'm reminded of another Rumi's quote: "What you are seeking is seeking you."
Oh my God.
So his intention may have attracted you to the industry.
Probably,
You know?
probably.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. Now, next quote. You know, compliment that is not very nice to hear, but when I see you cry on screen, it is the biggest pleasure for me. How am I sounding? Because that is the real sorrow. I watch thousands of movies. I know when it touches me and everybody watching it. One, do you think your sorrows have been used by yourself to better yourself as an actor, which comes out through your eyes? And secondly, why do people stay in prison when the door is so wide open?
Wow. I'm going to try and answer all of these questions as intelligently as possible. But no, I think that as far as the expressing myself is concerned, no, it's not about am I using myself to do what I do.
Yeah.
But what I do, and the only thing that I do know is to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm extremely uncomfortable with dishonesty. I'm extremely uncomfortable with filters. I am someone who embraces vulnerability, you know, and I'm also someone who's willing to accept my mistakes. I'm someone who's open to confrontation and having a conversation. Because for me, my heart and my soul has to be very clean. You know, it's not like I'm only doing right things all the time. I'm sure I make mistakes. I'm sure, you know, I faltered along the way. But I think to understand why I do what I do, why I did what I did, why I felt a certain way, if I was disappointed about something, if I was hurt about something, if I have been hurt, I think where I am in my life today is not to just sort of push it away or question it. I think where I am in my life today is to acknowledge it and to embrace it. And the only way I know today, whether it is in my craft or outside of that, is to be honest. So I guess, you know, that's probably why the performances or the crying or any other expression or emotion probably touches you, because it's
but
not.
do you
it's
feel in a
coming from an
scene,
honest
you know,
place.
in Gehraiyan, while I was watching, maybe I'm a little more perceptive. I'm very emotional, Deepika, and I could see that you didn't have to use glycerin in that, because I see your emotions swell up from inside. Was that happening for real, or am I?
No, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And that's what I say. I mean, even as an actor, my endeavor always is to just to try and be as honest as possible. And the camera picks up everything.
The camera picks up.
So yeah, I think all I'm just trying to do is just to be extremely truthful and honest in that moment. And yes, there will be days when, you know, where it will happen, but there could be days where you don't.
Where you don't. True,
you
true.
know, and but that's the exciting part of being an actor.
True.
For the second part of your question, why be imprisoned when you can?
Have you felt like you were in a prison?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Again, at so many levels, you know, whether it was me battling mental illness, whether it was me struggling with my identity when I spoke about that, you know, when that period when I felt lost and I was struggling with who am I and who is it that I want to be. All of these things make you, you know, it's so true to the quote that you just read out. But what I also realized, and more so through the journey of this film, is that people also don't voluntarily choose, or at least most people don't voluntarily choose to be imprisoned. A lot of times you're imprisoned because
you're conditioned to be in prison.
Because either you're conditioned to be imprisoned, or your circumstances force you to be imprisoned, or you don't have the strength or the courage to step outside of that prison. So I think there are so many factors that lead you to do what you do or not do.
Not to, yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's one of my biggest learnings.
To not be in prison and seek for help.
Yes, that too. I mean, that would be my advice.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think, you know, I can't be telling people don't be imprisoned. But what I can do is say I was imprisoned in my own mind, and I've had this beautiful experience of coming out, and it's so liberating.
It is.
And my life has only gotten better from there. And the only thing you can do is be empathetic and also be authentic and honest in your journey, and hope that people will pick up from that.
Now Rumi says next, he says life is a balance between holding on and letting go. Deepika, we know you're holding on to a lot of things. You are endorsing so many brands. They're like absolutely fabulous brands. You have this foundation, you have a great career, you're doing many things at one time. What have you let go of? कि ये मुझे नहीं चाहिए अब life में.
You know, it's interesting you ask that question, because I think you reach a stage in your life where actually you're letting go of most things, and you only retain what you know is going to add value to your life. So I think in the initial years of my career, it was really about wanting everything, wanting to do everything, saying yes to everything, saying yes to every opportunity, every brand, every film. And then you come to a stage in your life where actually you're actually filtering, and you're saying, I feel like this is going to better my life, these people are going to better my life, I'm going to enrich their lives. And then automatically, I think the minute you, at least the way I look at things is, I look at everything in my life today with purpose. And if there is meaning and purpose in what I do, that is my biggest filter, then I do it. Otherwise, it's eliminated.
And do you think you have some kind of movies that you know that you are not going to be a part of?
Of course.
Yeah?
Of course. I'm very sure today of course, it's not about saying no, but it's about saying, okay, I think this is who I am today, this is what I've grown into, and this is who I've evolved into, and therefore some of these stories, some of the characters, I don't resonate with them anymore. And not to say that it may not be a good film, or it may not be, but it's just different from where I see my life today. And yeah.
And you know, there was a time when I've had many actor friends and senior actresses also telling me that there were some directors or actors or producers we just didn't like working with.
Yes.
We just didn't like working with, but we couldn't say no. You're not in a position to say no. Do you think you have that discretion, and you are, even if you, just mentally, is it easy for you to now say no easily?
Yes, it is, and it's always been. In fact, Om Shanti Om was not the first film I was offered. I was offered a lot of films, feature films, before Om Shanti Om actually happened. And just the other day I was thinking, I said, I surprise myself sometimes about how at 18 I had the clarity to, first of all, decide, and then how did I say no? They were from big, and they continue to be
Really?
big superstars, and huge production houses, well-known directors. Anybody in my position at that time would have said yes to it. I don't know what I was thinking, but I remember thinking to myself at that time more than anything else, and I think it comes back to just being honest. I remember saying, it's a great opportunity, there's no doubt, but I'm not ready for it. I had just become a model. I had just come out of college and school, and I had just become a model, acting was not my immediate next step. You know, I was enjoying modeling, and so when these films came to me, as much as I appreciate and value and respect those opportunities, I just wasn't ready for it. And I think, you know, at some level, I'm proud of myself that I was able to have that sort of clarity. And I mean, I've gone on to work with those producers later on, which also means then I also handled it well, and I handled it correctly.
You said no, but in the right way.
Yeah. And again, I think as long as you're honest about your decisions and you communicate that honestly, there will never be bad blood. There can't be. So yes, I have said no to a lot of things, and it's, in fact, like I said, most of it, I have certain filters today, and in terms of Shah Rukh, in fact, was the first person, and then coming back to what I was saying earlier, and finally Om Shanti Om happened. He was the first person to tell me, amongst all of the wisdom that he was sharing with me, he said, baby, always remember to work with people you know you're going to have a good time with.
Wow.
Where you know you're going to enjoy yourself. And as a 21-year-old, again, you know, every day I was working with Shah Rukh. Every day he'd have some sort of wisdom. Anyone who knows Shah Rukh knows that he's full of wisdom. And for me, that was a huge learning. Every day, you know, something about something or the other, I'd keep learning. But this one thing really stayed with me. That's been another filter for me, especially when it comes to movies. Life happens as you're making a movie, and it's extremely important that you enjoy the people that you work with.
True.
You know, because then even if a film doesn't do well, you know, at least you've had a good experience.
True.
What is, I guess, the most painful is if you don't make a great film and you've had a bad experience, then that's just disaster. Yeah. So
it's a waste of life, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that that again was great wisdom. I'm glad I held on to that. I'm glad I listened, and it's again one of the filters that I kind of apply when films are being offered.
You have
to
some
me.
karmic connection with Shah Rukh. You're working with him in Pathan again. You started your career with him. He gives you the best advice about life. Wherever you have reached as an actor, also as a person, and the choices, the things that you do apart from work, it certainly does signify that you are spending time with wise people, mature people, smart people, and such friends are difficult to get in life.
Absolutely. So today, when I've become, I'd like to believe, slightly wiser than I was when I was 21, I use that. You know, I talk to him.
Yeah.
Again, we're not in touch every day. I engage with him the most, obviously, when we're working on a movie. But that hug, that look is very special.
Yeah.
You know, what he and I share, or at least what I share with him, is extremely, extremely precious, extremely special. And today, I will, you know, hold him to that offer that he made. And I do.
Right.
When I'm confused or if I'm stuck.
You call him.
I
He's
will-
always there
I
for
will
you.
most certainly call him. Forget that. If he's going through something in his life, I will meet him somewhere and I'll say, I know, I understand. We don't even have to say much to each other.
Yeah.
And it's the same with him. Like, he'll walk up to me, we'll have fun, we'll do everything, and then he doesn't have to do much. He'll just stay with you, and you know that he knows. That's it.
ऐसे karmic connections वाकई किस्मत से मिलते हैं, Deepika. Moving on, you can interpret it in your own ways.
Yeah.
But truly, it's important to surround yourself with people who fan your flames, who make you better each day.
We're talking
What
about
makes you burn every day? It's a lot
Today-
of hard
yeah,
work
no,
being
no,
a
no.
producer or
Today-
actor so much.
Yeah, it's purpose. If I had to sum it up, today it's just you're given and you work to get to a place, and you're given this opportunity to be able to impact and to touch people's lives through my work or otherwise. And so for me, if I didn't do that,
Nice.
I feel like that's an opportunity wasted.
Yeah.
You know, so I really do wake up every morning thinking, how can I be a better person? How can I push the envelope? How can I bring meaning into everything that I do? And how can I do things differently from the way they have been done historically? And so everything that I do today is driven by meaning and by purpose, and is to make things better from where they already are.
Fine.
At least the endeavor is that, the attempt is that. I may not succeed, but at least I wake up with that intent every morning.
Fine. Call. Now you are doing so many things all at the same time.
Yeah.
Do you think multitasking is easy? It comes easily to you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Multitasking, yes, it does come easily to me, but yes, of course, at the same time, within that, there are things that you are more excited about than other things. And yes, sometimes you have to do things that you don't enjoy doing also, but you have to do them. But I avoid doing the things that I really don't enjoy as much as possible. Having said that, yes, there are certain responsibilities also, and you have to fulfill those commitments and you have to fulfill those responsibilities. That, of course, I will do it truthfully. But if there are things that are within my control, where I have the choice or the option to say, I don't want to do this, I don't enjoy doing this, I don't do it.
Fine.
I don't do anything that doesn't give me joy.
So where all have you invested yourself financially, emotionally and physically? One of them is the foundation, your own production house, your acting. Anything else?
Myself.
Ah, self-care.
Self-care. So myself, my friends and family, and then my experiences with them. It could be individual experiences, it could be experiences with my spouse, it could be experiences with my family, experiences with my friends, and also just time for myself, like to nurture myself. I think that's so important, especially in our profession. We're constantly putting ourselves out there and constantly available to people around us, and I think it's extremely important, and there's nothing selfish about it. To nurture yourself and to make time for yourself.
True, true, true. Moving on. So hungry, you know, that body language is something that is so attractive to other people as well. How do you make more work in the industry, Deepika? Have you understood that knack and skill now? Because at the outset, it just people feel that you hobnob more with the producers and the directors, and you are more so active on the social media. अगर दिखते ज़्यादा हैं तो ज़्यादा काम आता है. What's the trick? What's you learning?
Wow. I mean, specifically as far as this quote and, you know, one's professional life is concerned, nothing is more important than the films that you do and the work that you've done in it. Everything else is secondary. You know, whether you hobnob or not, whether you go to parties or not, whether you take meetings or not, all of that is secondary. I think what is the most important is that's your bread and butter.
Yeah.
Everything else you can build around that, if that's the life you choose. But you have to get your basics right.
Just the work. The work speaks for itself. You're right. Lastly, we talk about self-esteem. Rumi about self-esteem. Deepika, there is a lot of activity around us all the time, action. You see the newspapers, the social media, the news channels, the WhatsApp messages, what people are saying. I have been friends with 10 people, 5 of them speak one thing and the other 5 are speaking another language. How do you stay unaffected in such circumstances?
With the noise?
Yeah, the noise and just the pressure of judgments and different opinions.
No, pressure of judgment, though I don't think I live in that pressure of judgment anymore. I think over a period of time, I have found my truth. I'm discovering more than ever before who I am, what are the things I like, what are the things I dislike, what are the things I enjoy doing, who are the people that nurture my life. And sure, you know, all of these things I'm saying might sound a bit selfish in a sense, but it's important. And in fact, Dhairya, who's in the movie, recently said that one of the best pieces of advice that someone gave him was you have to take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of the people around you. So how do I cut out the noise? Exactly like, you know, we spoke about earlier. I take time for myself. I nurture myself. Of course, there are things that I don't do in excess. Like I'm not, I'm not excessively on my mobile device. I'm not someone who reads comments. I'm also very sure and confident about who I am and what is it that I want to say. Now again, will I make mistakes along the way? I'm sure I have, and I'm sure I will continue to. But I'm okay with that. I think it's important to accept and to embrace, and to listen. You know, so I think it's some of these things that help me stay centered. Yeah.
You focus more on yourself now as opposed to the environment, the atmosphere, the universe.
Yeah, and it's work. It's, you know, it's not like it's easy. It's not it's not easy to say, yeah, okay, I just focus on myself and I cut out the noise. How to do that is work, and it's a lot of work. But I'm willing to put in that work because it you know, I feel balanced and I feel centered. Yeah.
Yeah, but the self-care is showing. You look gorgeous, you look happy, you look so nice. I'm very proud of you. And lastly, this is the question everybody you would be waiting for.
That quote, in fact, I came across recently. Yes. I really can't elaborate on that quote.
Let me give words.
It's self-explanatory.
Let me give words to you. Deepika, I recently shot with Ranveer, and what a bundle of energy he is. How articulate he is. He knows just what to do at what time. He's so good, made for the industry, made for the medium that he is in. And you're quite different. You're the opposite, and that's the best way. A relationship actually be like that. What have you given to each other that has helped you better yourself as performers?
As performers, I mean, you know, the usual. I think as performers, there has to be transparency, there has to be honesty, there has to be trust. You know, there's got to be all of those things. But at a personal level, he's just been a silent spectator to everything that to all of my dreams and to everything that I've wanted to do. He's never come in the way of, you know, any of that. I was just thinking about that this morning. I feel liberated. You know, I never have to worry about, oh, I can't do this, or I can't say this, or I can't wear this.
Or I can't do this movie or this scene.
Yeah, you know, I think he's given me, of course, he's given me more than these two things that I'm going to say, but when it comes to my professional life, he's given me a lot of freedom. That's one aspect of it. No questions asked, because there is trust. And he's given me immense amount of support and what do you call it? Appreciation, not support, appreciation. Always appreciating everything that I do. Whether it's a movie, it's a performance, it's a magazine cover, it's an interview, it's an Instagram post. He's always, you know, sort of appreciating, very, very appreciative. And the fact that he's vocal about it, you know, and the fact that he's able to articulate. A lot of men feel all of these things, you know, it's not to say that men don't, they do. But a lot of men often struggle with how to articulate what they feel. And I think what Ranveer has is, the beauty of that is that he's also able to articulate what he feels. Yeah, and you know, I think what I've been able to bring to his life is to
calm him down,
keep him grounded. Yeah.
Uska sur niche kar deti hain.
A little bit, otherwise, you know, I feel like he'd probably be jumping off the rooftops. So I think a little bit of my groundedness or centeredness
is eccentricity
is something that I keep. You know, he is, you know, Superman with a cape, but then that
cape is
when you pan the camera, the cape is, I'm holding it just so that he doesn't fly off the building.
Great, Alisha. That is the thing to do. And you know, in the army, there is a, कहते हैं ऐसा कि मिसफायर लाइफ में एक ही बार होता है, बार बार नहीं होना है. पहले हो गया तो जंग में नहीं होना, और पहले नहीं हुआ तो जंग में होगा. So I guess you're done with all your misfires in life, and you're in a state of life or in a state of mind which is close to perfect, and God bless you for that.
No, I don't want to be perfect. I hope no, I think it's about evolving. You
Yeah.
evolve, you learn, you evolve, you make mistakes, you embrace, you accept. I think that's just the way to go.
That, like
At
that,
least for me, that's what works.
yeah, like that song, गम और खुशी का फर्क ना महसूस हो जहाँ मैं दिल को उस मकाम पे लाता चला गया. So I guess you're in that phase where you don't feel the
Yeah.
difference.
I mean, I feel the difference, but I think that again, when you're in your 20s, you see things very differently.
Yeah.
As you get older and you have different experiences, you view things very differently. So that's, I mean, and it's not to say 10 years from now, I don't know whether I'll be here or I'll be in a different phase in my life, but that's where I am today.
You'll be attracting all the joy and love because you're a good soul.
Hopefully.
Thank you, Deepika.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing
Thank
whatever you're
you.
doing and being what you are.